And the Hake Report is available on audio podcast. I do it through Substack now. Started off on SoundCloud, then I went to Podbean. Now I'm on Substack for podcast. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, same thing. Guys, it is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles. Let me make sure my Odyssey is going. Yes, it is. We're live on Rumble, I think, YouTube, Odyssey, odyssee.com/@thehake report, DLive, leftovers. I mean, I do sometimes get DJ on pause, sometimes sneaks in a diamond over there for me. Nice. We'll be checking and reading your super chats, guys. Thank you for those. Lots of mess to cover, guys. You know, most tap water's fine. I'm still on the tap water kick. I use the filtered tap nowadays because they have filtered taps here, Bond and other stuff. But how about that vaccine promotion? I have a nice throwback clip. I guess it's a throwback. Yeah, that's what I'm going to mention, Nick. He says a guy died using a neti pot with tap water. Well, a lady died back in 2018 in Seattle, 69 years old, for using, well, that's what the doctors suspect, using unfiltered water. It's crazy. People in the chat know about it. I mean, I have a question for you guys. Is it okay to just sniff it up a little bit, up my nose a little bit, or no, the tap water? Maybe I shouldn't. Anti-Second Amendment propaganda by a very unchristian people like Jon Stewart. Scumbag. I shouldn't say that word. Evil is real has violated my innocence in not knowing that the meaning of some of these words, the old meanings of some of these words. Terrible. Anti-white stuff propaganda, pro-black propaganda. It's ridiculous. I think there was this Jubilee video. It's probably some years old. Are you proud to be black? They're all proud to be black. Are you proud to be white? None of them are proud to be white. Maybe one a little bit. One girl who doesn't look like she has much to be proud of. Terrible. What a mess. I'm going to play all that and get to your calls if you would like to call in. And by the way, Hershey's was spreading transgender propaganda. It's gross. I thought this was America, an American company. Hershey's been around forever. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show.
The Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the AJ Gallardo original theme song of the Hake Report. Written and recorded December 2017, Christmas Eve, by AJ Gallardo. So good.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. If you don't know, you will shortly know that Trevor Wesley does the Hake Report intro that we play Monday through Thursday. He did the remix type of a thing. Nicely done, Trevor. I am wearing my I Love Boomers t-shirt. I forgot that I had it. I Love Boomers. It is a Hake Report original. You know, all these people talking about, okay, boomer. Both the right-wingers and the dumb young left-wingers hate the boomers or blame the boomers. But we love the boomers on the Hake Report, if we love anybody. Isn't that right? Yes, it is. TheHakeReport.com, teespring.com/stores/TheHakeReport. It should still be available. I'm not banned from Teespring, unlike JLP. Anyway, what a mess. So, real quick, let me cover this story. My nose is a little bit stuffed up, slightly. At times, slightly congested still, right? And I read this to you guys in Hake News. Despite some misconceptions, most tap water is safe to drink. Does that sound like news that I've covered before from CNN? It sort of does, because they've said this before. But they have new information along with it. Because stomach acid, your stomach acid, the acid inside my stomach, kills the low levels of microorganisms that may be swimming around in the tap water. But some of you guys were saying, no, it's not the organisms or bacteria or whatever in the tap water. I didn't know there was that stuff in the tap water. It's it's hard water, or it's fluoride in the water. It closes your, I can't say third eye. I disavow the third eye. It closes your pineal gland. Is fluoride the thing that turns the frogs gay? It's the fluoride? Because I remember Alex Jones was saying, I don't like them putting chemicals in the water and turning the freaking, sorry kids, frogs gay. Shout out to Alex Jones. He's my competitor. And it turned out it was true. They were kind of like turn all girly frogs. Girly frogs. Isn't there anything worse? Makes me want to spit. I'm kidding around a little bit, but I didn't know that fluoride counted as the chemicals that was doing that. But other things are pineal. Pineal says pineal gland, not pineal gland. Thank you, the real Mr. Mad. Thanks for the spittoon. Big bump with the fact check on Sean. Sean is the one who told me there was fluoride. Blame him. Atrazine turns the frogs gay, says Big Bump. Also a reliable source. Take what you hear on the Hake Report with a grain of salt, guys. I tend to say, I don't know. This is what they say, right? Sean offers his apologies, and we accept his apology. But, yeah, a lot of people are like, no, it's not the, well, whatever, I don't know. The FDA, though, says that it's not safe to use unfiltered tap water for sinus rinsing. Have you ever heard of sinus rinsing? Usually involves a neti pot. Is that how you pronounce it? N-E-T-I. Neti pot. And I have pictures because I had to search that on the internet, and I found pictures of neti pots. And incidentally, happy Women's History Month, ladies. We found pictures of the ladies, many of them lovely ladies, not wearing, can you wear a neti pot? Holding a neti pot up above their, somewhat high above the head or upwards and tilting and going into one nostril and it coming out the other nostril. Shout out to the ladies. Happy Women's History Month. We don't honor women. We don't celebrate them either. We cherish women for Women's History Month. Shout out to the lovely ladies listening to the Hake Report, and even the unladylike people listening to the Hake Report. Females. If I love anybody, I love females. And this is kind of a sad story, to be honest. A couple of sad stories, I guess, if I'm to believe Nick. Is rinsing your sinuses with neti pots safe? And that's a headline, I think, from, I forget where. I think that's actually the FDA's own website. And they said, yeah, it's generally pretty safe. From 2021. But they said it's not safe to use unfiltered tap water because bacteria and protozoa can travel up the nose and cause serious infections. And I have various pictures. Let's just kind of show through all these pictures. Here's another mildly attractive young lady with a different style of neti pot. 300 milliliter nasal wash neti pot nose. $5.90 on eBay. Isn't she cute? Right on, ladies. Well, I don't know what. And it has water coming out her nose. But somehow she makes it look cute. Sort of. Let's show the next eBay one, which is a little bit more expensive. Hispanic or Arab sort of looking one. Steel neti pot. Stainless rinse. $23.90 also on eBay. And is that stuff coming down her nose? It goes in one nostril and comes out the other. This looks like a model. Okay, and let's go to the next. I think the next one might be a little bit. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is a little bit. This one's a little bit more realistic. This lady looks like she might need some neti pot nasal rinsing. Worried about using a neti pot? Here's how to use one safely from Healthline. And she looks like she might be. She's still mildly attractive for sure, definitely, right? It's just the pose is not. That one looks like a teapot going up into her nostrils. She looks like she's actually doing it. And then this one is the one that's disturbing, I think. This next one here. Oh, that's cool. No, this one's cool too. Baraka ceramic neti pot. Had you ever heard of this? Why do they get the word neti? And it has this one has instructions in the next one. This is from the same website. They're selling it in ceramic. Why is it always women too? They're not making the males do it. I guess it's because it's unmanly to have a stuffed up nose. Bend over the sink and turn your head to one side. Keep the pot level. Place the spout into your top nostril until it fits snugly. Breathe through your mouth and slowly tip your head downward, allowing warm water to travel up through your sinuses and out the other nostril. You may need to adjust the angle of your head slightly in order to allow the water to flow out the other nostril. And it's going down the mildly attractive. Oh, that looks kind of like snot. Yeah, she's mildly attractive. For sure. This one is the sad one. I keep on teasing the sad one. Here's the sad one. Insider, 2018, December 7th, 2018 article by Caroline Praderio. Here's why you should never use tap water with your neti pot. And it has, this one's funny. A woman, this is the label for this shot. A woman, not the one pictured, died after using a non-sterile water to clean out her sinuses, doctors say. And this is a Shutterstock stock image. That looks thicker than water. I think that it's not mixed with water. And so here's the story, guys. This is the sad part. So warning to all of you guys and gals. A 69-year-old woman died after contracting an amoeba infection in her brain, according to Live Science. Doctors suspected that she got the infection because she repeatedly cleaned out her sinuses with non-sterile tap water. It wasn't this gal. We don't know what happened to her. Other people have died after using amoeba-contaminated tap water within neti pots, a common device used for clearing sinuses. Experts say a neti pot should be used with boiled and cooled tap water, or you can boil it, duh, or distilled sterile water purchased at a store. So that's your PSA, public service agreement. No. Public service announcement. So again, I sometimes sniff, like I'm in the bathroom, I use the bathroom sink, and I like wash my face after a runny nose day, and I'll sniff up some of the water. Is that bad to do? Do you think that's bad to do, Hassan? Maybe I shouldn't do that. I don't know if I should do that now.
You have no filter?
No filter. Hashtag no filter.
I mean, it's pretty alpha, I guess.
Nice. I think my mother told me to do that. Maybe it's an old wives' tale. Neti pots are for betas and women, says Broski Bear. Well, he doesn't say women. But yeah, I've never I never even heard of a neti pot. So it's alpha to be sniffing up the water?
I mean, I don't know. Aren't you a drink straight out of the
I used
water?
to. Yeah, I sometimes still do. But nowadays, since I have access, there's a communist buzzword. I have access to filtered tap water. I use the filter spout.
Nice.
Yeah. Are you proud of me, guys? I don't drink just straight tap water anymore. LA water, it's pretty safe, right? I mean, people say, oh, the homeless are defecating. Sorry, kids and ladies. It's Women's History Month. We acknowledge the ladies. If people say, oh, the homeless waste is dirtying up the water. I don't know how they could know that. I think that's speculation. But homelessness is pretty gross here. Yeah. It's alpha, but is being alpha going to kill me? A lot of men die before women.
I mean, it either that or it could be building your immune system. I guess it just depends on what placebo you want to believe it.
Yeah, I know. I figure, you don't want to be in too sterile an environment. Babies need to be exposed to germs so that they can toughen up. It calms your irritated nostrils when it's itchy, runny, sneezy, or whatever. Should I not do that? Hake looks kind of homeless with that beard. I don't know. Anyway. Drinking straight out of the tap is comparable to sending your kids to public school. You should know better by now. I don't know, man. I've seen more horrors more obviously coming out of public schools. So, well, thank you anyway, Hassan. Appreciate it, man.
I mean, I feel like we used to run in the house and growing up and just go right under the sink and get a nice...
Hose water is the best. Hose water? Oh, my gosh. It's so satisfying. It's the right temperature. It's not too cold. Sometimes it's kind of hot, but if you let it run a little bit, then it cools down and the flow is good. And oh my gosh, it's so satisfying.
It's true. You just you don't want to immediately do it because any spiders build up or anything.
Right.
So you want to let it run out a little bit.
Although kids don't do that anymore. Parents turn off Hake. It's terrible, man. Oh, man. It's not that funny. I feel like there was other stuff related to this. But let me get to a call or two, guys. First, let me get to Jeremiah in Louisiana. He's on the line. Jeremiah, how you doing, man? Are you there? Come off of mute. We love boomers. We're giving boomers a chance. Jeremiah is roughly my age. How you doing, Jeremiah? Are you there? Jeremiah going once. I'll put him on hold. Let's have mercy on him. It was just Black History Month. Let me get to Ron in Texas on the line. Ron, how are you doing, man?
What's up, Hake?
Hey.
How's it going?
Going well. How about you?
Oh, man, I'm doing all right.
Celebrating, are you cherishing women for Women's History Month like Hake?
No, not really.
Do you cherish women generally?
I do.
Nice. Right.
I didn't know it was that month.
Oh yeah, it's that month.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, the reason for my call is, did you hear the call between me and Jesse earlier?
I missed it. I am remiss in missing a lot of JLP's show today.
I really destroyed his argument on those airplane incidents that's been happening the last couple of months, and he's been blaming it on the
black
the
air
hiring of
affirmative action,
unqualified blacks.
affirmative action air traffic controllers. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. It's actually the 5G network. I explained all that to him.
Is 5G
Now,
good for our brains?
I heard it's not.
Where did you hear
I
that?
heard it's not.
Where did you hear that?
Well, probably the same place you heard it, online.
Yeah, on the internet. I heard
Yeah.
like a warning maybe on my competitor's show.
So
Alex
that's
Jones.
the reason. That's the reason for these airplane incidents.
Well, I can't.
No, hold on. What are you talking about?
I can't confirm or deny that. That's JLP's show stuff, and this is the Hake report, man.
All right, that's that point. Great.
Okay.
The question is, I have for you.
All right.
Okay. Do you believe a multi-billion-dollar industry like the Airline Association would lie on another multi-billion-dollar association like Verizon and all these companies that's big business?
Oh.
Okay. Do you think they will lie and blame future deaths on the 5G network to keep blacks from looking bad?
They would certainly try to pass it on to the 5G thing to protect themselves, and you know, if they can get away with saying something like that, they're gonna say it.
So you're telling me they will lie on a multi-billion-dollar network?
You're still on. Yes, of course they would lie if they can.
Oh,
they can
come on! I know y'all code now.
And then on top of that, you're still on the JLP kick. This is Hake. No wonder you're calling JLP. No wonder you're calling Hake. You never call Hake about Hake stuff. You only call Hake about JLP stuff.
I totally destroyed I'm probably the first person to ever destroy.
I gotta go.
On
the contrary, JLP destroyed you.
No,
I gotta go, man.
That's why I know.
I gotta go, man. You calling about Jesse? This you have to call Hake about Hake. Call Jesse about Jesse. You got.
All right. Have a good one, Hake.
All right, you too. Happy Women's History Month. What a mess. Let me go back to Jeremiah in Louisiana on the line. How you doing, Jeremiah? What in the world?
Is the day the Lord has made.
I might play that song.
And be glad in it.
We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. So good. Happy Women's History Month. He's on now.
I caught a couple of your calls. One from John in Kentucky, my brother, beloved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
The other guy was Franklin. I haven't really heard Franklin before. I think that's his name. I'm not sure
Frederick?
if I'm correct. Frederick, yeah.
He's Maya. He's not Israelite. He's Maya. He's Egyptian.
He's still a brother, you know.
Okay.
But they had a couple of good strong points against you, though. One that I brought out, as far as your hypocrisy, because I know you don't believe in helping the poor. You said it gives the person that helps a false sense of righteousness or whatever.
You can help people who are actually poor, maybe, but there's no poor in America. That's for sure.
There is no poor in America. Wow.
It's a fact.
Who would be the poor that you would help out in other countries? We know y'all don't agree with helping other countries. So who would you help out other than your own country?
Maybe some of the people in South Africa.
Some of the people, huh?
Yeah, some of the whites in South Africa.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's exactly what I was getting at. So you basically your neighbor, right? Your neighbor, right?
No, people who actually.
You said white.
People who actually need it.
The white people need it in South Africa.
The black people certainly don't need it in Africa.
Not all. Okay, so not the black people. None of the.
They do not need it in
Africa. None
Africa.
of the black people need it. None of the black people need it.
I didn't say none. I just said in generally they don't need it.
So in general, they don't need it.
Yeah.
Okay. So in general, we shouldn't look at y'all like y'all. One
Do
of
you
you,
give
one of
to
you
the
are
poor?
good, right?
Do you give to the poor?
I do. Yes.
What poor do you give to?
We feed. We have
No,
food
what
drives.
poor?
We have
Which
clothes
poor?
drives. I'm sorry.
Which poor?
Well, unlike you, Hank, I actually practice what I preach.
Who's poor?
But I guess you would say
You can't
you
answer the
practice what you
question,
preach.
Jeremiah. Who's poor?
The people that's in the ghettos. What are you talking
They're
about?
not poor, man. What the heck? They're spoiled.
How is it not poor?
Because
That's not
nobody's poor in America. They're
it's
spoiled.
more than just. It's more. You see, you're just thinking on a carnal state. You're thinking about money. It's not just about money, Hank.
It's
You know
not
that,
about
right?
money either. They're well
You know-
clothed.
you know-
They're well fed.
It's not about
Too well
that's
fed.
carnal. That's carnal.
I know.
When you're poor, when you have a poor state of mind,
Like you
when
have.
when you think you should go kill your brother, when you think you should go kill somebody or steal from somebody that looks like you,
Exactly.
or anybody for that matter, when you feel like you should kill or steal from anybody, you shouldn't do
Right.
that, right? That's a poor state of mind, right? We got to fix that, right?
Why do you keep on
You
saying
think
right,
helping-
man? The heck?
You think fixing it or helping the situation is by this is what
No,
Frederick,
you
Frederick
just
was
told
talking
me
about.
by example is that you
This is
feed
what
them,
Frederick-
you give them clothes, and now all of a sudden you're switching to the spiritual poverty.
Yeah, but see,
You're switching on me.
Finish. You're not
A
letting me
man
finish.
ain't
You
got no
always-
business switching.
Let a man finish. A man lets a man finish what he's
Oh,
in the
whatever.
middle of his speech.
All right.
You don't do that.
Because
That's
you
why
switched
act
on
like
me.
a woman.
You switched
You're a
on me.
woman.
You switched on
No,
me.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I was saying what I was saying, but you cut me off.
I know, because you didn't answer me who's poor. You said the people in the ghettos.
I did in the ghetto.
Yeah,
the ones
and-
that have the low state of mind.
I know, but the
lower
low state of
the
mind you
ones
don't
that's
help
doing-
with clothes
See, you
and
still cutting
feeding.
me off, Hank. You're still cutting me off.
Because you're not answering my
I was
question.
getting to it, but you keep cutting me off.
All right, go ahead.
The ones that are in the ghettos are usually the ones with the lower state of mind. They have no hope. They have no faith. They're just lawless, mad in the brain. They do whatever they have to do to where they think they have to survive, whatever that takes, whatever that means, any means necessary. That's who needs the word, and that's really what it's about, the word. But y'all don't give the word though. Y'all give
Yeah,
this
we do.
whole,
The heck?
No, y'all get
Yes,
this
huh?
whole submissive thing.
Have you
Oh,
ever
turn
heard-
the other cheek? It's okay.
Have you
I
ever
know
heard-
You're poor, but
Have you
I know
ever
you're
heard?
mad, but turn the other cheek.
Have you
That's
ever
what y'all do.
heard? Blah blah blah. Have you ever heard JLP, for example, saying, "Don't be angry. Forgive."
Okay.
Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, I did.
And that's
I got
the
on
word.
him the last time.
That's the word.
The last time I spoke with
That's the
Jesse, I got
word.
on him about that.
That's the
we
word.
Still haven't been able to elaborate.
That's the
but
word.
God gets mad.
That's
Jesus
the
got
word.
mad.
Bye,
So,
Jeremiah.
Yeah, I thought so. Coward.
Did you still want to
Do you
actually
want to
say
have
anything?
a conversation? Do you want to have a conversation?
I asked you first.
Are you scared? Are you scared because you're a hypocrite?
Bye, Jeremiah. What a mess. Evil person. Let me get to CJ in Texas on the line. CJ, how you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you doing, Mr. Hake?
I'm doing fine. This is Evil is Real.
Well, glad to hear it. I heard you talking about neti pot use.
How do you spell it? How do you pronounce it, I mean?
Neti? It's a...
Nutty?
It comes from neti pots. It's...
Neti.
Neti pots they come from India. It's a part of a yoga practice for maintaining your health in yogic Indian traditions.
So no wonder the women are doing it. Ladies, you're the biggest suckers for this stuff. Yoga, neti pots, new age. Anyway, go ahead.
Neti pots are just kind of lame and hard to use anyway. If you want to do a good sinus rinse, I just recommend getting a sinus rinse squeeze bottle.
What about what I do? Did you hear what I do?
Yeah, you sniff it from your hands.
You cup the water from the bathroom faucet and go a little bit.
Well, if you get one of these squeeze bottles, it's like got a cap with a hole in the center, and then the straw from the hole goes all the way down to the bottom of the bottle. And so you're like, when you have it upright and you squeeze it, it pulls the water from the very bottom of the bottle up the hose. And then, I mean, you can really like just squeeze it and get a good forceful rinse out of your sinus cavity doing that.
And are you supposed to do that?
I do it every once in a while. I mean, it's good to clean out your body. I do it at least once a week.
Really?
But, yeah, when
every once in a while, at least once a week. That's more than once in a while, man.
Oh, okay.
To me, that sounds more than once in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I lived in. I had some roommates, and they all just got this wicked cold. And I was just doing that every day after I was around them. But I like to. So you want to use salt water.
Salt water.
Yep,
okay.
And then I get these xylitol packets, which also reduces any kind of inflammation that's in your sinus. And then I'll also add, I'll break open a capsule of copper, like the supplemental copper. And I put all that copper powder in there, and then I give it a nice squeeze of some iodine too. And that will just, that just rinses out and kills all the bad stuff that's in there. And I do it with all that stuff in there if I've been around anybody that's sick. Like if, someone's got a runny nose or they're coughing a lot or something, I have to be around them. When I get home, I just rinse that out. Dr. Peter McCullough was recommending it. He's like one of the big COVID doctors with Dr. Robert Malone.
Oh,
and
okay. That guy.
Once he just started doing the nasal wash, he went off doing prophylactic ivermectin.
Now, have you ever heard of that TikTok trend or something like that, where they were sticking? And I heard that this was debunked, that you're not supposed to do this. People were sticking a garlic clove up inside their nostril, and then leaving it up there. And then when they pull out the garlic clove, a whole bunch of snot comes out with it.
Whoa.
Have you heard of that?
No.
Wow, you need to be on TikTok more, dude. And
I don't
IG.
think so.
You don't think so? Well, they said not to do that.
I've never even owned a television since I moved out of my parents' house at age 18.
But how about a phone? The TikTok is not on TV.
Yeah, I got a phone. I don't feel like reducing it to a TikTok machine. No.
They say kids don't do that. Ladies don't do that. And then men probably wouldn't do that.
Another good practice with salt water. So, that saline water, I put extra stuff in it. Copper kills viruses like really fast.
Wow.
And so I put that in there. Like copper, the FDA has now even approved that you can put copper inside of clothes, inside of the weave of clothes, and you can sell it as antimicrobial because they've finally done enough evidence on it.
Yeah.
So copper's really good for that. And then what I would also recommend is once a week, just as soon as you wake up in the morning, just drink a warm quart of salt water just on an empty stomach. You want to put in like 2 teaspoons per quart.
Isn't that a good way to vomit? Not that it's a good way to vomit.
I mean, it can cause nausea, but it replicates the same gravity as your blood, so it doesn't absorb the salt water into your system to get processed through your kidneys. So the salt water just cruises all the way through down your digestional tract and just flushes everything out the other end.
Whoa.
Which is
TMI.
People, that's gross. I'm like, actually, I think maybe never cleaning out your
that makes
intestines
sense.
and colon is maybe grosser than cleaning it out.
Touche.
Anyway.
I'm getting lightheaded. But what about, I heard you're supposed to have warm lemon water.
Oh, you can put a little teeny squeeze of lemon in there just for, it helps with the taste a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the amount of salt in there that's really going to make it bypass the normal absorption process that your body does with water, and it's going to keep it all going through your small intestine and then your colon. And
terrible.
good idea, because stuff just gets plaqued up and stuck on the sides in there, and unless you actually clean it out, it just kind of stays in there, and it can
I got you. I heard you the first time, man. I heard you the first time.
Hey, quit using the word scumbag.
Don't say that word.
Day.
Don't say that word.
Don't. I shouldn't say the C word.
Well, that one either, especially not. Yeah. Don't tell the people what it means. They can look it up for themselves. No, I'm going to hang up on you. Oops. Did I hang up on him? I hung up on him. Thanks for your call, man. He literally started to say it. I told him not to say it. Bye, CJ. You're out of there. But thanks for the call, man. Very instructive. Super chats from Evil Israel, whom I hung up on purpose. Thank you, man. He bought me a couple of coffees here. Acts 9:7. The men traveling with Saul stood there speechless. They heard the sound but did not see anyone. Acts 22:9. The people with me saw the light but did not hear his voice as he spoke to me. Whoa. Acts 9:7. The men traveling with Saul stood there speechless. They heard the sound but did not see anyone. Acts 22:9. The people with me saw the light but did not see his voice as he spoke to me. Come on, Paul, get your story straight, says Evil Israel. Who wrote Acts? I forget. The Clementine Recognitions, says Evil Israel. Book 1, chapter LXX, which is 70, I think? I think so. Tells the story of Paul absolutely losing it at the temple and tries to murder James the Just by throwing him, I think, down the steps and leaves thinking he killed James. This is post-conversion Paul. Wow. That's what the Clementine Recognitions says. Crazy. Interesting. Zorak 90. Nick says he needs carbs to chill. Talking about Evil Israel. Yeah, man. Maybe you're just hungry and irritable, and that's why you started to say the thing that I had said not to say. Zorak 90 says, love you, buddy. Thank you, Zorak 90. I appreciate that, man. Generous support. That's on Ko-Fi. ko-fi.com/The Hake Report. Appreciate that. Guys, thank you. And over on Odyssey, odyssey.com/@The Hake Report, Asmodor says, he asks this is of Jeremiah, who called in, saying he helps the poor. How does giving them food, as Jeremiah said that he does, help their state of mind when they're the most obese group in the United States of America? It's a fair question. Maybe he gives them healthful food. Jeremiah doesn't sound fat. He probably gives them healthful food, Asmodor. That's my very charitable and probably somewhat true, right? Idea. Yeah, but nobody's hungry in the ghetto. If they are, it's their fault. It's a fact, Jack. Look it up. And as for JLP, he helps everybody. I support Bond because he's helping people by putting the truth out there, telling them the truth. Jeremiah is correct that it is spiritual poverty, that the poor you will always have with you, as Jesus said, spiritual poor. AG. Zorak 90 is me, he says. And I'm just assuming that he's not lying to me. Thanks, man. That's cool. Yeah. He's all proud of his brothers. Phony brothers. I don't think Frederick likes you very much, man. Maybe he does. Evil people hate one another, though. It's a fact. Speaking of health, before I get back to calls, let me show you this story. And speaking of blacks, this guy, all the ladies love him. Or do they? I don't know. He's sort of like boyish. 5 times August tweeted this out. This is clip 13. How about the vaxx promotion? Hi, John Legend, says 5 times August, who's a conservative guy on Twitter, I guess. You pathetic big pharma weasel shill. I disavow such slander or name calling. I hope the check that Pfizer paid to you was worth all the side effects and death people get from your sellout commercial here. Well, are there side effects to a commercial and deaths to a commercial? Sound like a liberal man. All the damage is on you now. Well, not all the damage. History won't forget. Hashtag no amnesty. And he's saying no amnesty because a bunch of people were promoting getting vaxxed. And this quite probably is old. I haven't seen the vax excessively promoted lately. But here's a 30-second clip of, it's a Pfizer commercial. Pfizer and Biontech commercial. But it has this John Legend, husband of Chrissy Legend, couple of Trump haters who are just beside themselves, Trump derangement syndrome sufferers, hate white people, interracially married, by the way, I think. Here's John Legend.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey, and how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With an updated booster designed to help protect against recent Omicron variants. The fresher, the better. Got it?
And he has a you know, as Lin Yan Chin says, men don't cringe. Men do not cringe. So I'm putting on all my might not to cringe nor spit. He had he shows his shoulder. Underneath a blazer, you're not supposed to have a bare shoulder underneath a blazer. And he shows a Band-Aid. Ridiculous. I feel that could cause side effects and deaths. Because men who are tempted to hate, I guess, are not men, right? Guys like Hake who are tempted to hate. Don't hate, guys. Shudder. Sorry, Lin Yan Chin. Not sorry, but you know me already. I don't know if I can help but overreact to that one. Do ladies like that? It's Women's History Month. Honestly, though, shame on the people who would fall for that propaganda. Do you think anybody fell for that propaganda? Maybe somebody did. If so, they get what they deserve. Not that the vax hurts people, right? I disavow all such talk. I laugh, but I don't know if it's a laughing matter. Misinformation is not a laughing matter, nor is vaccine injuries, which they do admit some do happen. Some vaccine injuries happen. So they should not say all people should get vaccinated, because not all people should. But it's very rare, guys. That's what they say. And for the sake of my channel, I'm going to agree with that, no matter how many of you guys die or get side effects, which you wouldn't. I'm seeing conservatives, though, independent thinkers, right-wingers, whites, Jew blamers, etc., thinking more like women and like saying, ooh, this promotion thing, this obvious propaganda that I can't imagine anybody falls for, but maybe some people do, because people will fall for, somebody will fall for something. Almost anything, right? Almost anything that you put out there, somebody's going to fall for it. But, yeah, those who, for example, like, say, take pornography or the CIA putting the drugs in the crack cocaine in the black community or whatever, you blame the users as well as the dealers. The drug dealer as well as the drug user. The sex dealer as well as the sex abuser, sex user. The pornography platformer as well as the pornography consumer. I mean, granted, like it's violating the kids oftentimes, right? That's why the liberals like to get them young, and the Christians like to get them young, and the ladies who are trying to teach their children about various different things, some more misguided than others. Try to get them young when they are impressionable. But that's their job. It's the world. The world is evil. People, as JLP says, people in the world are evil. Everybody. We're responsible for our own susceptibility and vulnerability to evil. As, you know, once we're of age, whatever that age is, I guess, you know. And our own passing of evil to others. What do you expect from John Legend? Terrible. And they don't promote fat people proliferating or promote being healthy. John Legend is not fat. His real name is not Legend, by the way. I will have you know. U.S. News reports. I saw this tweeted out by Cernovich, and I think I have the screenshot. More than half the world will be overweight or obese by 2035 per report. Is John Stevens? John Stevens, huh? More than half the world, and this is Reuters put this out. Far left enemies of America, enemies of the whites, enemies of Christians, extremists, but put out a lot of factual information too. Rates of obesity are rising particularly quickly among children and in lower income countries, the report found. Describing the data as a clear warning, Louise Barr, president of the World Obesity Federation. The word obese makes me laugh. Shout out to the obese people. Are we going to have obese month, obese history month? It is particularly worrying to see obesity rates rising fastest among children and adolescents, she said in a statement. Governments and policymakers around the world need to do all they can to avoid passing health, social, and economic costs on the younger generation. They're always looking for the leaders to do something, the elected officials, and they're the worst people to do it. All their solutions, so-called solutions, are only bring more complications, corruption, and symptoms. They address symptoms, but not the root. Childhood obesity could more than double from 2020 levels to 208 million boys and 175 million girls by 2035. What, that's worldwide? Doesn't sound like that much. The cost to societies significant as a rise to health conditions linked to being overweight. Yeah, like, remember, we were talking about insulin earlier this week? Insulin costs. Ooh, Sleepy Joe Biden is saving us by making insulin $35 instead of capping it at $35 because diabetes is the fastest rising something. And granted, once you have it, I guess you sort of need it. So you need that mercy. Oh, mercy, give me some of that. But they don't address the root. Just like the vaxx. The vaxx, more important than the vaxx, I dare say. Don't ban me, YouTube. Don't ban me, Twitter, Facebook. More important than the vaxx, I say, is being healthy in the first place. That's your real vaxx, is vegetables, maybe. Some of you guys say meat and fat, or sleeping enough, exercising, getting sunshine. That's more important. It's more basic. Then you're less at risk. Right? More than $4 trillion annually by 2035, or 3% of global GDP, is the cost to society of being fat, or the health conditions. Shout out to the fat people. We love the fat people on the Hake report. BMI, body mass index, is what was used for it. In 2020, just two 20s. In 2020, 2.6 billion people fell into these categories of being fat. A BMI score over 25 is overweight, and over 30 is obese, according to the World Health Organization, which is a I can't say that. Which is a sleazy dirt bag. Can I say dirt bag? A dirt bag is a vacuum cleaner bag, I assume, right? Or a trash bag. Dirt bag. World Health, sleazy UN's corrupt World Health Organization run by Dr. Tedros, who's a communist, black, affirmative action. 38% of the world's population was obese. I didn't know that. I literally thought that it was just America and England. Shout out to America and shout out to England. And the South, the beautiful South, has a problem with this. We appreciate you guys, but lose weight if you can. Or, be healthy. Healthy at any size. Terrible, huh? United Nations policymakers, they're probably the ones feeding all these people, and you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Ridiculous. So I wanted to mention fat people are proliferating. It's not good. Let me get to Joe in Phoenix, Arizona on the line. Joe, how you doing, man?
Good morning, James.
Morning. Happy Women's History Month.
Okay.
Do you cherish women for Women's History Month? Like Hake?
No.
You do not? But you cherish women in general, right? It's a leading question.
Cherish? I don't think so.
You don't cherish women? How about protect women?
I respect people. I respect the women in my family and protect them, but other than that, no.
Okay. All right. Nice.
You and Jesse don't like it when I call you evil. But I've called in many times and showed and given you proof that the FAA has investigated that whole, affirmative action black air traffic controller story, and they found no wrongdoing, no cheating, no nothing, and reported the findings to Congress. Yet you both still push the whole false narrative that black air traffic controllers are somehow not qualified and responsible for, the crashes and what have you. I mean, that's just evil, James, and that's why I call you evil.
You should call into the Jesse Lee Peterson show. This is his story. I don't remember talking about it.
You just talked about it two calls ago. What are you talking about?
I did not talk about it. He talked about it. I didn't talk about it.
Anyway, but that's the point. That's why I call you both evil, and that is why.
But your point is moot.
Denigrate black people.
Your point is moot because I never talk about that story.
You just talked about it 2 calls ago.
I did not talk about it. The caller talked about it. I did not. I said that's Jesse's story. I said yes. I wouldn't put it past an organization to put out a lie to protect themselves, or an industry or whatever, to protect themselves, or put out something that they don't necessarily know to be true, to cover their rears. But that had nothing to do with the black air traffic controller story. So your perceptions are off, not our message.
Fox News reported it also. So if you don't believe me, believe Fox News.
Your perceptions are off, not our.
And you only do it to denigrate black people, and that's why you're evil.
Okay. Very cute.
One of many reasons.
Very cute.
Yeah.
And so you trust the FAA and not your lying eyes?
Do you not trust Congress?
Do you trust No, I do not trust Congress. Do you trust the FAA and not your lying eyes?
Lying eyes.
Yeah, because everybody knows that blacks are getting extra credit just for being black.
Everybody knows.
Yeah, everybody knows blacks are getting extra credit just for being black.
You're just saying that to denigrate black people. That is it.
I'm saying that to denigrate. I'm saying the truth to denigrate blacks.
Yeah.
I'm saying the truth that blacks are getting extra credit.
You have no truth. You have no nothing. And
you don't know.
Want to denigrate black people, and that's why your Alex Jones moment is coming.
You don't know. Okay, Kami. You don't know that blacks are getting extra credit. You don't know blacks are getting extra credit for being black.
There was an investigation. None of that was proven.
I'm talking about in general. I'm talking about in general, buddy. You don't know blacks are getting extra credit for being black?
No, James. In fact, white women.
Well,
white women are the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action, not black people. White women are. So sorry, you're wrong again.
That has nothing to do with blacks getting extra credit for being black.
And they don't have that. So
yes,
you're making it up to denigrate black people again. You're just a liar, and that's why you're evil, and that's why your Alex Jones moment is coming, and it'll be well worth it to wait.
You're projecting. It's funny. You're projecting. You're calling me a liar when you're the one who has just caught lying.
You're caught lying. You just pull stuff out of the air at random to suit your needs, right, James? Anything
No,
to avoid
this is plain.
Being accountable and actually a decent human being.
You also said that the persecution of Trump. You also said the persecution of Trump is not politically motivated at all. It's just the law, just straight up and on the up and up.
If he didn't do the crimes, he wouldn't be prosecuted.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't deny that. Period. If there wasn't any guilt there, provable guilt, he would be okay. But there's provable guilt there, so he's going down, and is justified.
Emperor of Cats says that you're spurging. That's not true, is it? You don't have Asperger's.
I don't even know what spurging is.
It has to do with Asperger's. It's like when a autistic person is going a little too hard on his pet facts and not seeing reality, not being reasonable.
Well, that's offensive. I'm just stating facts, and you're being evil as usual. So keep on doing it, James. Your moment is coming.
Are you evil?
And it'll be well deserved.
Are you evil?
It'll be well deserved. You'll be pounded into
dust. Are you evil?
And it'll be well deserved.
Are you evil?
I'm not evil. I'm not evil. You're the evil one. Keep on doing it, James. Keep it. In fact, do it more. Do it more and more and more.
Did you ever used to be evil, Joe?
I've never been evil in my life.
Wow, amazing. Are you a Christian?
Absolutely.
And you've never been evil in your life?
Evil?
I say that
Evil's
too.
A very high bar, James.
I say stuff like that, man, Joe. I said I never cried in my life, not even when I was a baby. And it's true. I never have cried, ever. Period.
Evil was a very high bar. Evil now.
Oh, you've been just cute, silly.
James, I don't know what you're trying to deflect from.
I'm not trying to deflect because you said that you've never been evil. You're accusing me of being evil, and I haven't really denied it.
Lies and hatred as you do every day. But
I love black people.
I really do.
I love black people, and I compliment them regularly.
With a passion. I've never heard a compliment from you about black people ever.
Uh-huh. How about entertaining?
Not one.
How about blacks are very entertaining?
That's a backhanded compliment because you're really trying to.
It's still a compliment. It's still a compliment.
It's not a compliment at all.
Yeah, you just said it's a backhanded compliment.
Do you not understand the definition of what that means? It means you're really trying to insult them.
No. It's sort of a mixture of a compliment and sort of an insult sort of thing.
But you admit it is an insult.
But it's also a compliment.
It's not a compliment. It's an insult.
It's a compliment nonetheless.
Your true intent is to be an insult.
No. You're evil. You think that you can read my mind. You don't know my heart.
Who wants to do it for money only.
Do you know yourself?
Your moment is coming, and it'll be well deserved.
Keep doing it, James. What did you say about money?
Do it more.
What did you say about money?
Do it more and more and more.
What did you say about money?
You denigrate, insult, and stereotype.
What did you say about money?
I just said it. You're not listening.
I know. I'm trying to ask you what you said about money.
Then listen and shut up.
No, I'm in the coast. You can't tell me to shut up.
You denigrate, insult, and stereotype black people for money because, that's what brings in your little hate dollars.
My hate
dollars.
That's
why you do it. Your hate dollars, yes.
None of my hate dollars have brought in, none of my dollars have been from the blacks.
Boy, you really not understand it.
No, it's...
Your little minions...
My minions,
followers,
Lin Yan Shin, evil is real, John WX25.
They hate black people because, and that's why they don't.
You think you're a mind reader, Joe? Joe, you think you're a mind reader?
Not a mind reader. Look at your chat.
I look at my chat a little bit.
Believe your eyes. There's
what about him?
Hatred, anti-black hatred in your chat and Jesse's chat, and that's what it's all about for you guys, and that's what brings in your hate dollars. Period.
Hate dollars, he says. Okay, communist. Joe, you don't know me. No, do you know Jesse? And I think it's because maybe you don't know yourself.
I know your work. I know your work.
You don't know yourself.
I know your work.
You don't know yourself.
So once again, I've proven that you lie. And
bye, Joe. I gotta go. It's time for some music. Let's bring it down a notch, shall we? This is from Low. You guys ever heard of Low? It's a Mormon band. I thought they were Canadian. They're not. They're American. One of them has died as of November of last year. Mimi Parker, wife of Alan Sparhawk, died. She had cancer, a certain type of cancer. So rest in peace to Mimi Parker, drummer and singer and wife to the Mormon husband-wife part of the band Low, L-O-W. This is from the album from 2001, Things We Lost in the Fire. And this track is entitled Laser Beam. I hope you enjoy it, guys. This woman may have known she was evil, unlike Sleepy Joe from Phoenix, Ohio. Phoenix, Alabama. Phoenix, Arizona. Enjoy, guys. Press mute or grin and bear it, ya musical Philistines. Don't cover your ears because this one is nice. And I'll be right back for hour 2. The rest of it, hang tight. Isn't this nice? Rest in peace, Mimi Parker. Low. Well, thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. Wasn't that great? This song is definitely calcifying my pineal gland. Pineal gland? I think it's pineal gland, maybe. Yeah, Low. Things We Lost in the Fire, 2001. I heard about Low, actually, from Jeff Suffering of 90 Pound Wuss and Suffering of the Hideous Thieves, Fame, and Raft of Dead Monkeys. Nice. When I was in college. So good. Super chat from Spoiler Alert over there on Ko-Fi. ko-fi.com/The Hake Report. Reminder that the ancient Israelites were a pure white people. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk, according to Lamentations 4:7, KJV. Oh, take that, Mayots. Mayots is a name for, anyway, shout out to the Mayots. We love the Mayots. No Hispanics. I'm not saying that word. King Alpha Nerd says, with a super chat, Joe, you need to get a new gimmick. And he's talking about Joe from Phoenix. I call him Sleepy Joe sometimes. You need a new gimmick. The blacks with temerity are not victims, like Brandon Johnson. Shout out to Brandon Johnson, the guy in the chat, not to be confused with the guy over in Chicago who's trying to run for mayor, and he's a liberal. Artie Art, two young guys I can't remember, and William from Cali, plus me, says King Alpha Nerd. If you are going to hate watch the show, come correct, boy. Ooh, watch that racialized language, King Alpha Nerd. Nah, he didn't say boy, he just said boy. Come correct, boy. Yes. Fair enough. How's Brandon Johnson doing? I haven't seen from him in a little while. Hope he's doing well. He's one of the legendary moderators of Hake, JLP, Bond. Nice guy. Let me check over on Odyssey. There are a few on Odyssey. Asmodor says with a super chat, AZZMADOR. On Odyssey, ODYSEE. Joe claims to be a lawyer. He supports the witch hunt on Alex Jones and is claiming the same thing will happen to you, meaning Hake and JLP. He is asking leading questions. You should never take another call from him to protect yourself. It's crossed my mind, honestly, because he is so evil and malicious. Like, he purely wants us censored. He is pro-censorship. That's why I call him a communist, among other things. I mean, he believes in the racism thing. He lies and deceives with facts like a communist, cherry-picked facts. Very deceptive and deceitful and malicious. Just, you can hear it in his voice, the malice. He despises us. He is trying to establish that you are profiting from racist disinfo, which is what lawyers who sued Jones claim. Never take another call from him, advises Asmodor. And I appreciate the advice of Asmodor. And I do take it into consideration. He is a wise man. Not a boomer, though. Not a boomer. But wise nonetheless. Shout out to the Gen X people. That may well be fair enough, because he is a sleazy person. Just scum of the earth. He said white women benefit more from affirmative action than blacks. That doesn't mean that blacks don't get extra credit for being black. And I wasn't even talking about affirmative action. I was talking about all that. I was talking about it all in general. Even interpersonal relationships. People are just trained to treat the blacks with kid gloves. Also because they're just disproportionately very attitude-ish. Have a lot of attitude. And so then you treat them with kid gloves because of that. Don't get angry. Don't get angry. Because they get so loud and aggressive sometimes. Not all. Hake Defamation League. Yeah. That it's crossed my mind. And you may be right. There's not much value in his calls, depending on how, we handle him. I shall consider your wise advice, man. He definitely does want us censored. He doesn't have any love for us. He pretends that he has love. It's love to want evil to go down, something like that. Crazy. He said Alex Jones was passing lies about the what was it? The Sandy Hook stuff for years. That's not even Alex Jones's main thing. Minority females rate higher on the affirmative action stack. It's just there's just fewer of them, says Asmodor. Yeah, I know. And there's more white women than blacks in general. All the blacks combined, I think. So, duh. And I'm not for white women getting affirmative action either. They shouldn't even be going to college or into the workforce in many cases, you know? We love the women and we love the blacks. Yeah, he's an evil person. He doesn't even think the JLP's like a real pastor. And yet he thinks he's never been evil in his life. It's a high bar of evil. And you, meaning it's a low bar. But yeah, he is like a Pharisee trying to catch you in some type of inconsistency. Typical intellectual, blind person. But we wish him well, if we wish anybody well. Birdie Brown Brian says, I'm here for the black hate. Joe doesn't know who he is. Black quote-unquote hate, says Birdie Brown Brian, who's a solid guy, I think. Noah's Ark, Kansas says, Joe ain't proved a thing in his entire life, and he needs to stop hiking up his skirt before calling in. I disavow that. Joe from Phoenix doesn't wear a skirt. Put your pinky finger down, Joe, says Noah's Ark, Kansas. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Aw, come on. Spoiler alert says black intellectuals don't understand the meaning of per capita or why it's important. You know, spoiler alert, to his credit, has wanted to ban Joe from the chat for lying. For years ago, he wanted to ban him for lying. Very dishonest person, it is true. Super chats from Deus Intra and Being Enlightened Till I Rise. On Rumble, Deus Intra, God Within, says, thank you, Hake, for dealing with these aloof callers so we don't have to. And Being Enlightened Till I Rise says that last caller was a commie and liar. Yeah, I know, he didn't prove anything. He didn't prove anything. As a black who's awake, Being Enlightened Till I Rise is a black who's awake. He's the most evil person I've heard on your show so far. Hake, your argumentatives are on point. I shouldn't be argumentative. You mean argumentation? Is he? I think this super chatter may really be black because he's misusing a big word, argumentatives. Unless I'm the mistaken person, which happens. But thank you guys, appreciate that. Let the hate dollars flow. No, these are, someone gave a super chat, some hate money for a hate coffee. Funny, man. Evil is Real bought a coffee, says, have your producer Google. We don't Google stuff on the Hake report, except when we're remiss, and we're always remiss. Page out of the Old West and poetic hanging judge. Then go through the article to the sentence handed down by the judge. It's awesome. You should read it on your show. Thank you for the tip, man. Appreciate the support. Okay. Lines are full, guys. Let me get to Paul in Ohio, who wants to weigh in on the 5G thing. Paul in Ohio, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, Hake. I know it's not your discussion, and it was something I have on Jesse's show. I just wanted to respond to your callers.
I did ask the guy about 5G. You're fine. People have called in about 5G before. I've talked about it once, so go for it. Twice now, actually.
Well, I just think that he's asking that if a company would sacrifice their product to protect the diversity is absolutely nuts. Like, where has this guy been for the entire affirmative action, hiring unqualified people, all the colleges, everything is all about the companies sacrificing their bottom line to get that diversity quota. It's just nuts.
Yeah, the whole
culture. Airlines the same.
The whole culture. It's not just one thing or another thing. It's the entire. It's culture wide. It's endemic or something like that. More than endemic. It's like it's permeated the whole culture of kissing up to the blacks and giving them special treatment. It's de jure as well as de facto. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, did you know anything about 5G though?
That's a little bit too far into the conspiracy world for me. It's if my head starts exploding in a year or two, I guess it'll be a thing. But I'm not sweating it at the moment.
Oh, okay.
I think it's probably just another excuse to get riled up.
You know, I don't discount any of it really because I don't know. And I don't care that much. But I think that there's a lot of stuff messing us up. And
well, I'll tell you what, I'm a little bit more worried about the black pilot than I am about the radio waves.
I'm more concerned about the things that I'm doing in my life that are more clearly and obviously and more immediately and long-term kind of damaging to myself, which is like basic habits. We should be protecting ourselves in so many ways, and yet we're worried about. Yet a lot of times we get stuck on this or that side thing that does probably have some effect. Who knows? But anyway,
this is all coming back to the tap water, right?
See, I think I could have tap water hold the rest of my life, and if I had the right other habits, big picture habits, I would probably be fine. Live a long, pretty healthy life. But no, I got a beta back. I don't lift weights. Stuff like that. So.
Well, Hake, if you don't mind, there is one little thing I wanted to get off my chest about people turning on Donald Trump.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Well, they try, the enemies of America, they tried to get everyone away from Trump. They try to make the intellectuals think he's stupid. They try to make the minorities think he's racist. But they also tried to get the right-wingers to think he's a vax salesman or a friend of Israel and things like that. And that's the same propaganda. It's just a little bit different flavor. So don't fall for that and stick with the Great White Hope.
That's how I feel about it, to be honest. I feel that a lot of people feel like they are independent thinking for turning on Trump because of this or that pet issue, be it the Second Amendment, which is a valid issue, but it's a dumb thing to turn on Trump for. Be it the vaccine, which is a valid concern, but it's a dumb thing to turn on Trump for. Be it his support for Israel, which if you have, it's valid to have issues with Israel and stuff like that and our relationship with it, but it's a dumb thing to turn on Trump for. Those are all dumb things to turn on Trump for. His benefit way outweighs his drawbacks, which are no different, honestly, from the drawbacks of any of the politicians. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll try to get you to turn on him any way they can.
He's miles above any of the rest of them. And like with 5G or tap water or whatever, vaccines, your own life is more your own responsibility and the community around you. We should be getting involved in local politics ourselves and not relying on Trump. Because Trump is going to do what he can. Some right, some wrong. And we appreciate him for his for winning for us, and because he is for us by and large, I would say. But JLP has asked people, "Oh, you running for office?" And they're like, "No, I'm just going to complain," stuff like that. And men should be leaders of some sort, whether they run for office or start a business or just work and do what you're supposed to do and not complain. Not get caught up in somebody else's life or some other politician. So, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I had. So just thanks for your time, James, and keep up the great work.
Great call, Paul. Call again sometime. Take care.
Take care.
All right. Heath in Louisiana has been on hold for some time. Heath is a first-time caller.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for calling, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
man, I just wanted to call in and tell you that, how much I appreciate you guys, putting all this out there because, I mean, I've turned a lot of people on to you guys, and it's just amazing.
Nice, man. Appreciate that. How long you been listening?
Man. Pretty good while. I listened to Jesse Lee Peterson a whole bunch.
And what do you appreciate about JLP?
Well, I appreciate his chicken song that he puts on there when they run off.
Yeah, that's fun. There's a lot of chicken song episodes, or quite a few, on the YouTube, and there's probably more to be found, honestly, in the archives that are not out there.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, he talks to, it hasn't happened for a little while, but he interviews people on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, and when they hang up and run, he plays the chicken song.
I love it. I just seen one earlier. My little 4-year-old here home with me today, and Jesse was dancing back there, and he was
nice.
I love it. He loves it too.
They run because they can't handle real conversation, real confrontation, real truth.
And I have never seen anybody like this. I mean, I have, but not like in a black person, because it's just messed up. A lot of them want to say something, but they can't.
You're talking about blacks?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that? Is that because they're kissing up to their own so-called black community? They still identify with that?
It is.
I can relate to that.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Fact, there was a lady in the grocery store yesterday who was complaining and griping about white people, and she didn't say white people.
Right.
But it was some white people, a couple Karens over there, which, I mean, they bother me too.
Karens, you called them?
Oh yeah.
Wow, the K word.
She reverted. She said instead of saying these dang white people, she said these clear people.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, typical. Man,
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I feel like I have heard that. They just despise whites.
Dude, that was so funny. I couldn't help but to laugh right in her face because, I mean, it was funny.
Right.
It was great.
Yeah. Nice, man.
But, yeah.
How old are you, if you don't mind my asking, Heath?
I am 45.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. So what was your show about today? Because I don't know if I've heard you before.
Oh, well, today I'm talking about, I will be getting into the pro-black, anti-white mess, which is bad for both, bad for everybody. It's evil.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I talked a little bit about how you're not supposed to shove tap water up your nose because it can poison your brain with amoebas.
Yeah.
So I'd never heard that before, and I guess you learned something new.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard tap water's pretty bad, and in some places.
Right. You can drink it because your stomach acid will kill the bacteria, I guess. But even still, it has fluoride and other things maybe, and something dizine that can turn frogs gay. So, what a mess.
Yeah. So I know some places are worse than others.
Right.
Like where Joe Biden is from. What's that state he's from again? Delaware.
Who's that? Oh, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Joe Biden is from Delaware. Yeah.
Actually, I was doing a job in New Jersey and driving along the Delaware because we was going up north for something, but it smelled so bad, and the animals around there are like the deer and all that is there. Of course, they don't hunt them or nothing, but I've seen several of them that walked sideways everywhere they went.
That's over in Delaware?
What? Yeah.
Because of because of the water is so bad over there?
Yeah. Yeah, they got a chemical plant not too far from there, and I know they dumping a bunch of stuff in there because deer don't walk to the side just by themselves, and whatever way they turn to walk, they walk that same way again, sideways.
Wow.
Not all of them, but yeah, several of them.
I don't
They
know.
look like that-
I feel like I've heard something like that before, but I can't confirm or deny.
They kind of look like Sloth from the Goonies. You know what I'm talking about, with them crazy eyes and all that?
I haven't seen that movie, actually, but I've seen...
Man, listen.
That's the guy who looks weird, and he says, "Hey, you guys," right?
Exactly. Him
Okay.
right there.
Terrible, man. Well,
Yep.
you never know. There are problems in America, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. Well, man,
What we going to do about that?
I think the locals have to look out for their own community is what we need back, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Absolutely. So what was your name again?
James Hake of the Hake Report. So,
Hake Report.
yep, Hake. So thanks for calling my show, man.
Yeah, man, I'm going to look you up. Thank you, buddy.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Later.
Bye. Nice guy. The lines, the call screener notes said, "Your show is amazing, Hake," but he didn't know my name. Shout out to the beautiful South. Right on. Let me cover this story. They're going after the Second Amendment. By they, I mean the very unchristian people. Anti-2A propaganda is not Christian. I saw this tweet from Ed Krasenstein. One of those Krasenstein guys was on the Jesse Lee Peterson show years ago, before they were banned on Twitter, and then now they're back on Twitter. Breaking! Jon Stewart, who's not a Christian. He's a New Yorker guy. Very emotional, female-minded liberal male. Sometimes he comes off as reasonable, somewhat, because he's older, maybe. He's definitely funnier and better at The Daily Show than that light-skinned South African mixed guy. Psh. Is he out yet? I think that guy's out, right? But I'm not a hater. I shouldn't be anyway. I disavow hating. We love everybody, if we love anybody. Jon Stewart just completely destroyed Republican State Senator Nathan Dahm, D-A-H-M, of Oklahoma, based Oklahoma, on gun reform. Not black reform, not phony politician reform, gun reform in America. Each and every point that Dahm tried to address, that's Nathan Dahm, state senator, Republican of Oklahoma, was completely debunked by Stewart. Jon Stewart, that is, says this unchristian Krasenstein guy. I don't think he's a Christian. Jon Stewart made Dahm look as foolish as he and his Republican colleagues really are. My favorite quote was, "In every other place in your life, you want to bring order, but guns are the outlier for you. Let all your Republican friends see this video that's 8 minutes and 27 seconds long. No thanks. No thanks." And he shares a video shared by The Problem, is the Twitter account, and that's his show. I guess he's on Apple Plus TV. Jon Stewart, this comedian guy, trying to be all a political activist, which is what he's been for his whole life, really. Sleazy person. These entertainers, not Christians. We got 400 more guns, less crime is the name of a book by a guy who's appeared on the Jesse Lee Peterson show multiple times. He's been on Real Vincent James's show. Dr. John R. Lott, L-O-T-T. Dr. John R. Lott, Jr., Ph.D. He's written books about this stuff. CrimeResearch.org. He has very interesting research and info. He's the one where I learned, from whom I learned that since Roe v. Wade, out-of-wedlock births went out of control because looser sex stuff, right? More sex and less responsibility. That's what abortion brought you. Killing the babies, right? So evil. And he also did a study, John R. Lott Jr., showing that when women started getting voting, America went down the tubes, so-called progressive. That whole progressive thing, which is targeted towards women and female-minded liberal males, such as many Jewish people, A lot of Catholics sometimes, those Irish sometimes, those Italians, Hispanics, blacks, everybody, Asians even, women. White women are the best, I will have you know. It's true. Look at their voting patterns. People say, oh, white women are the worst. No, they're not. In terms of their sensibility. They're all senseless, but they're vote a little bit better. And we're all senseless, faithless, heartless, ruthless, as the Bible says, right? Crazy. Going back to this story with this fake story, this situation, State Senator Nathan Dahm, he slipped and called voting a right. It's not a right, because Jon Stewart pretended, ooh, is voting a right? I would have said, no, it's not a right. Because rights, with a right, you have to register. With voting, you have to register to vote. Just like driving, you have to register, because driving is not a right, it's a privilege, they said. When I was growing up, driving is not a right, it's a privilege. Driving privileges. So you have to register with the government, get all that stuff. And his advocacy, Jon Stewart's advocacy, is to push registering your guns with the government. Like the government's trustworthy to protect us. No, it's not. If it was trustworthy to protect us, we would have a closed border. How about that? You're also making it less safe for cops and for people in the, women get killed by guns in domestic violence situations. Women also can protect themselves from bigger opponents or attackers, and sometimes they are the attackers themselves with guns. It's the great equalizer. Silly Jon Stewart, not thinking like a man, not thinking logically. Cops going into a domestic violence situation. My friend who's a cop, he got shot with a gun. Shot by a person, though, with a gun, an evil person. Liberals are for evil people to expand and for good people to go into the closet and turn evil. Not the prayer closet. Evil people. What else did he say? He was talking about children have died. And if we had an ATF that wasn't defunded, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. Get rid of that bureau. Am I right? Those people are not honest people. Are they? These government organizations. Isn't Jon Stewart an atheist? Definitely not a Christian. I don't even think he was raised Christian. Look into Jon Stewart early life check. Nah, I don't have time for that. But yeah, this is one of the, a lot of times Fox News likes to platform him because he stands up for those first responders after 9/11 who inhaled dust and smoke and different things and died and suffering from 9/11. And he probably stands up for those people from the burn pits. The burn pits, the American anti-American establishment sent soldiers overseas, and they were downwind of their own burn pits where they're burning poop and they're breathing that stuff and they're getting cancer and all kinds of mess. And he's probably standing up for them. But he's a mama, not a sensible person. Not sensible. Oh, and then he tried to do this double standard thing with this guy, State Senator Nathan Dahm of Oklahoma, because Nathan Dahm is probably not for the transgender propaganda on kids, but that doesn't kill kids at least. But guns kill kids, says Jon Stewart. And so does young males who grow up to be supposed to be men, but they're not men, raised by single mothers and raised in this propaganda where it's attacking on men, smearing the whites, promoting hatred and anger, religion of anger. No wonder there's going to be a lot of mass murders Oh, what does this tweet say? Let's see. The problem with Jon Stewart tweeted, State Senator Nathan Dahm, Republican of Oklahoma, DAHM, penned several bills loosening gun restrictions, including the nation's first anti-red flag law. Nice. Unlike Trump. I've heard that Trump was for red flag laws. I'm not sure. He thinks these bills protect the Second Amendment and that they make us safer. We think it's probably one or the other. Apple TV. Apple is your enemy. Jon Stewart is not a friend of sensible people. Ridiculous. He's of the Jewish faith? Really? I think he's an atheist. He's got to be an atheist, right? Seems more like an atheist. Certainly not the real God, though. Yeah, the politicians have to play like they're palatable, too. You know, they have to kiss up to the fake notion that voting is a right. No, it's not. If we armed the schools, they wouldn't be ducks in a barrel or fish in a barrel. Sitting ducks in a barrel. And also deal with the evil hearts. That's why JLP is the solution. Not evil as lying, creepy Joe from Phoenix, Arizona falsely claims. A super chat from streamlabs.com/thehake report. John WX25 says, my new name for you is AssassinHake. AssassinHake. Oh, I get it. All one word. AssassinHake. Don't ban clowns like Jeremiah. Guys like him prove you're right. Any plan for another hour? Yeah, some people want Hake third hour. I don't know if I want that. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. Perhaps I'll do more beach streams or something. Nice. Before I get back to calls, hang tight, callers. I do indeed plan to get to you, but let me show you this. Anti-white, pro-black, all evil. Carol M. Swain, who has appeared on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. She's also in Uncle Tom, one of them anyway. I think both of them. You are in trouble, she tweets, if your race or ethnicity are points of pride rather than your accomplishments. And she quote tweets End Wokeness on Twitter, who tweeted out clip 11, guys. I'm finally getting to clip 11. Two groups of people were asked if they are proud of their skin color. One group was black, one group was white. This was the result. Here it is. The blacks strongly agree with I am proud to be black. The whites mostly disagree with I am proud to be white. One gal slightly agrees. Here's the video. And this is probably old, and it's from like Jubilee. But okay, here it is. About a minute long. Clip 11.
I am proud to be black. 3, 2, 1.
They're walking to one side of the room, which indicates that they agree strongly.
All right, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Hand clap for y'all. Yeah.
I'm glad that we all strongly agree.
I am proud to be white.
I'm proud to be white.
3,
most of them,
2, 1.
Most of them walk to disagreeing.
Can there be a middle?
Some neither agree nor disagree.
Pick a side.
One gal walk slightly agree.
I almost went there too. It's like
I think
so
like
hard.
guiltily, like I'm like happy that I'm not oppressed, but I'm not proud of like things people have done in the past.
When I think of being proud of something, I think of something I worked for.
Be quiet, man. I mean, I can relate to that. Like, I grew up as a kid, you know, proud to be an American. Like, what's to be proud of? I didn't accomplish anything. That was everybody else before me. It wasn't me. So in that sense, I I get it guy who's not agreeing. And he's not even that white. He looks Italian. I was looking at the Twitter stream on delay. And so the blacks are brainwashed to be all proud of nothing to be proud, not what's to be proud of with being black. Sometimes they're proud of their singing and dancing and athleticism, or of they're going through the struggle of being black in America. And then the whites, you can tell these are city whites, not normal whites, dumb liberal, college-educated whites. They're college age, roughly. Makes me want to spit. Let me get my spittoon. Shout out to It's the Real Mr. Matt. He gave me this spittoon. I think these are cigar holders. I disavow cigars, okay? I don't know if I'm supposed to disavow cigars. Is it cigars? No. It's alpha jerky. Get your alpha jerky. I need to get my second bag. I finished my first bag in 6 days. Stupid. Dumb. Sorry, kids. Don't say stupid too much. Or dumb too much, actually. But this has been... Everybody's known this. And there's ridiculous. Oh, I'm proud that I'm not... I'm happy that I'm not oppressed guiltily. Nobody's oppressed in America. If anything, like, the whites have it against them. Lin Yen Chin with the super chat says, being proud is being insecure, as pride is hate. It's the essence of perversion and cause of degeneration. Women and intellectual males are proud, pretending pride is a form of honor and respect. Pride is a parade of insanity, says he. And yeah, I mean, there's a right kind of pride and a wrong kind of pride. Most of us have the wrong kind of pride, including those silly people who are also ashamed of being white or against being proud of being white. You should neither be for nor against it, if anything, really. But there's nothing to be ashamed of with the white history, including slavery. Nothing to be ashamed of with that. Wasn't you. And on top of that, right on to the slave owners and to the slaves, as long as they were just slave owners. Some of them were not Christians, I heard, but I don't know. Some of them were Christians. There were good and bad slave owners, and there were good and bad slaves. And shout out to the slaves if they slaved away in dignity, with dignity. Oh, you're stealing their dignity. No, nobody can steal your dignity. I mean, yeah, they can strip you down and embarrass you. That's embarrassing, right? That's kind of a form of, stripping of his dignity. But you can even, in that indignity, suffering of indignity, you can still maintain your real dignity, because dignity comes from within. Right, Lin Yen Chin? That's right. Stupid. And cut it out with that phony redlining and all that mess. Quit crying. Quit complaining. Anyway, should be neither... Do you want to weigh in on this briefly here, Hassan? I feel like Hassan ought to weigh in on this. Do you have any comment on this?
On what exactly?
Well, proud to be black, proud to be white. And did you see that Jubilee video where...
That was an interesting video, and it is interesting that, you know, as we frequently talk about how white people have been ashamed of being white. It really is amazing.
Yeah. Ashamed of something that they have nothing to be ashamed of. They're just propagandized.
It's crazy.
I'm not oppressed.
But it also is kind of interesting how... Yeah, it's interesting how, like, on one side, it's kind of like, well, it seemed that the black people are super like identifying with it and like
right, high-fiving each other almost.
And even though the whites are being like weak and ashamed and scared, there's also maybe like probably not, but to give the benefit of the doubt, a level of like just not wanting to identify with any of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
I was brought up not thinking about race at all.
Yeah.
And I grew up amongst, the Hispanics, some of the Hispanics, I thought maybe they were white, so I didn't know. But then, like, they were Asians. And then some of them were darker, and I could tell they were Mexicans or whatever. But I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Until, like, the poorer kids came and called me white boy and this and that. And then I saw, okay, Hispanic hierarchy over the Asians and Asians over the whites at the bottom. And then there were, like, 2 blacks. And they were, like, some of them were athletic, and then one of them was fat. So the fat one was kind of on the outs, and the athletic ones were on top.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't want to. But they go too far with it for sure. They go too far with trying to disidentify with it because it's hiding rather than being objective.
Yeah, and of course they're like pandering and just trying to not be looked at as like racist or white supremacist.
Worried about what others think. Don't hate me, guys.
Yeah.
The one girl who's slightly proud.
Yeah.
And the guy who said he slightly disagreed said he wanted to go to the slightly proud. Worried whites. Everybody's wrong. Terrible.
Yeah. It's something else.
Yeah.
Because I think like in a deep spiritual way, I used to always think like if you identify with your race,
you're racist.
You're racist. This is what I used to think when I was
sometimes think that. Yeah.
Yeah. On like a spiritual level, but obviously this has become so just it's sad.
It's the deception though. I mean, that's the world. It's what you expect. I guess it's why you have to be patient with both of them. A lot of whites who are for the whites just roll their eyes. They're just sick of how weak the other whites are, you know? Or many people are sick of the blacks. And many blacks are sick of the blacks.
Yeah.
I've known some blacks who just hate blacks. And by the way, JLP is not one, nor is Joel Friday. Those guys love the blacks. But there are blacks who hate because, you know, you hate everybody. You hate one, you hate all. But, you know, everybody who hates has favoritism and their pet issues that they're hung up on.
No, you're absolutely right. I know a lot too and they won't say anything.
Right.
And that is kind of part of the hatred, I think.
Yeah.
Is not speaking up or saying it.
Yeah. No, that's why sometimes the blacks are justified in having a leery looking side eyes at the whites because the whites are so weak with them they won't speak up. And they're kissing up, and it's just makes you want to spit. But you got to understand that's how whites were brought up and raised and traumatized to be, both within their families. Be nice. Some whites. Nice is not good. Nice is not love.
Yeah.
And then especially with the other races, or with men with women. Terrible. So that's the world.
Yeah, I think a lot of blacks or something like that they'll resent when other people will speak up about it, whether it be black or white, because they actually, like you said, may feel that way.
Right. But they feel like they're going to get kicked out of the black thing if they speak up. Yeah, a lot of blacks agree with me or with JLP more than they let on.
Yeah.
But they have to pretend like there's a racism thing or something just because of that social pressure. That's so true. People have called in and said that that's true too.
It's crazy.
Yeah. The weakness of human nature. Such a shame.
Yep.
I appreciate it, Hassan.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
man.
Thank you, man.
Quickly. Let me just tell you, do you want to just play this next clip? The other clip. this is the story. You heard it on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. It's footage. You can play it right now. It's silent footage. It's 2 minutes long or so. I am Sean 90, actual justice warrior. Sean Fitzgerald, I think is his name. I forget. Footage of black students committing a hate crime, no such thing, against their white peers at an elementary school, and the school was hiding the video until now. And it's silent B-roll shared by Andy No. The city of Springfield, Ohio has released surveillance footage of the elementary school incident from February 10th. You heard about this on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, perhaps, where white students were held hostage and assaulted on the playground by black students who wanted to force them to pledge allegiance to hashtag BLM, Black Lives Matter. On February 15th, Andy No tweeted an exclusive from his Patreon. He's an independent journalist guy. I've obtained a police report of an incident at an Ohio elementary school where black students used violence to make their white peers pledge allegiance to Black Lives Matter, BLM. Those who tried to escape were assaulted and dragged back. And that's the brainwashing. Even the children are brainwashed with that stuff. You see like young, dumb, blind, brainwashed child football players kneeling for the anthem. Just like that sleazy person. Can I say sleazebag? Can I say dirtbag? Dirtbag doesn't sound tough enough. Doesn't sound bad enough. Dirtbag sounds sort of manly, and I don't want to call him manly. Colin Kaepernick. I mean, he's strong physically, right? He's somewhat athletic, pretty athletic, more than somewhat. Maybe not the best football player for sure, but you know, he got that Egyptian girlfriend, SJW DJ, Muslim girlfriend, who was all into the social justice warrior mess. But look at these guys. They don't know. I mean, they may know better, but like JLP says, parents who send their white kids to these schools with blacks in them, mistake. And oftentimes these whites who get beat up like this, Henry Rollins I've told you about. I think Colin Flaherty told me about Henry Rollins. Not me personally, but he mentioned the late, great Colin Flaherty, who covers black on white crime, or did before he died. That's the end of that video. Henry Rollins and so many dumb liberal whites, or so-called whites, were beat up by blacks as kids in these growing up, decades ago even. And then they grow up to be dumb liberals and take the side of the blacks. You do the math. Some people call that a, what's that word? Stockholm syndrome. Where you just like the mothers. The mothers are your first abuser, right? And then you think that you love your mother. Evil adults brainwashing the children. I'm shaking my head. But the Democrats pretend, oh, we want to protect children from metaverse in Facebook. Facebook, Meta, don't promote to 13 to 17-year-olds. Pull these young people into an under-researched, potentially dangerous virtual realm with consequences for their physical and mental health being unacceptable, say the Democrats, like they care about kids. Hershey's promoting so-called trans women on the Women's Day campaign. Sorry, ladies. I mentioned that in Hake News. Hershey's chocolate makes me want to spit because they're promoting transgender so-called women on Women's Day, and there shouldn't even be a Women's Day campaign. So it's just insult on insult on insult. Not insult, but disgusting stuff. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. Brian in North Carolina wanted to comment on most whites not being proud. Frederick in Los Angeles was on hold forever, wanted to talk about DeSantis' laws against anti-Semitism, which I mentioned yesterday. Artie Art in Ohio wanted to respond to Joe in Phoenix, and so did Rick in Maine about the affirmative action stuff. And Rick in Hampton, Virginia, man, wanted to talk about Jackson, Mississippi has new Jim Crow laws. What? But guys, You'll just have to call me next week because this has been the Hake Report. And yesterday we were talking about the island of Dr. Moreau promoting the transgender stuff on the kids. Well, this track is entitled The Island of Dr. Moreau from Ataraxia, 2005 album Arcana Echo. Hope you enjoy it, guys. Thank you for the super chats. I'll read the rest of them on Monday if there were any that came in. But I gotta go. And you guys have a nice weekend. Catch The Fallen State, catch Nick's stream, catch Church with JLP, and catch me next week, hopefully. The Island of Dr. Moreau, Ataraxia. Adios, America.
It's time to face any reality.